Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in with me, Gloria Celinda. I'm very excited to be with you once more as we continue to reflect on the topic of true personal identity. Today, our reflection is a reminder of how important it is for owning up. Owning up that one is not perfect, owning up that working on your true personal identity is a journey, owning up on the fact that it is your responsibility to change anything that you need to see better in the future. Sometimes change is forced upon us. Sometimes circumstances prevail such that there is no choice but to change. Sometimes it is through feedback that we receive that encourages us to change our ways. Regardless of how you become aware of the need to change, you will not be in a position to change anything that you do not admit needs to change, that you do not recognize needs to change, that you do not own up for yourself. It is necessary for you to first go through the process of understanding why there is a need for change. And changing could be in one area, in one behavior, in one habit. It could be anything that arises that does not serve you. Either way, it is necessary for you to own up before you can take the action. Usually there is resistance to change. People do not want to change because they are used to doing things a specific way, or there could be a lot of other reasons that they are not comfortable to make the change, especially when it is a change that comes as a result of somebody else mentioning that this is not working for them because of how they are showing up. There may be a lot of reasons that one finds it very difficult to admit that there is a need for them to change a specific conduct, a specific behavior, a specific character trait in them that is not serving them, that is not serving their relationships, that is not serving how they are showing up, that is not serving their true personal identity. I would like to share a few of the reasons that are most common. One of the reasons is pride. Pride leads to the downfall of many. There is also the mentality that one is always right. If you have the mentality that no one can tell you anything, what you are doing is the way to do something, and you will not listen to other views, then you will resist change. There is also the issue of blaming others. If one does not recognize that they are showing up in a specific way and they decide to blame the environment, the other people, the entire world, instead of taking ownership for how they are showing up, then they will not change. There is another common reason where people believe the world is against them and they are always having to fight one thing or another. And in a case where one believes that, they will be very defensive and they will always find a reason why it is not them that has something to address, but it is the world itself. Could be many other reasons. Sometimes one believes that they are misunderstood. Whatever the reason is, if the impact, firstly to you, does not give you the inner peace, it does not give you the freedom, it does not help you, it does not help your relationships, there is a need for change. There is always a root cause to a specific way of showing up. One of the biggest root causes is past hurts. If there are unresolved hurts, if there is unforgiveness, sometimes for yourself, sometimes toward other people, it creates anger and it creates bitterness and it creates the need for one to always protect themselves and always defend their position. And it ends up creating this resistance to change. And it creates the view that the whole world is against a person. The reality is that we all carry our past, and however our past shaped us, however our past contributed to how we are showing up right now, we have an opportunity to change our own stories when we decide to step into our own true personal identity. And remember, your true personal identity is defined by God. It is the person that you are, your inner self, before your outward self. It is how you are showing up, how you are behaving, the language that you use. It is how you relate with other people, how you even relate with yourself, how you even relate to God shows your true personal identity. Beyond that, it is about who you believe you are, the values that you live by, your belief system. Your whole self talks about your true personal identity. Unfortunately, our true personal identity also shows the past experiences. If we are carrying unresolved past hurts and harboring unforgiveness, it is going to show up in how we are relating to ourselves and how we are relating to the world. So it is important for one to identify what is the root cause for the reason that they are resisting owning up to what probably is quite obvious to them at times, or it is obvious to other people that there definitely is a need for correction, there is a need for improvement. Before I carry on, I want to take a moment to appreciate each and every one of you who continues to tune in. Thank you for your support. Thank you for the feedback. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed. If you haven't subscribed as yet, please click the subscribe button, and I urge all of you to please share the link with others so that we can learn and grow together. Now let's carry on. What are the common signs that one is resisting owning up? What are the common signs that one does not want to take responsibility for a state that needs to be changed in them, or a behavior that needs to be changed in them? Usually it is when one believes that the problem is with other people. Blaming others shifts the responsibility from one in one's mind to others. It is usually when we use words like, but this person did this to me, that is why I responded in that specific way. Yes, there was always going to be something that triggers us, but if you use that quite commonly, then you need to step back and reflect, why is it happening so often? Why is it that most of the time it is others that are at fault? Perhaps there is a common denominator, which will be you. I don't know if you have been in a situation where you find yourself listening to some material, or you are in a church service, or you are listening to a sermon, and the first thought that comes is, I wish my sister was here, I wish my daughter was here, I wish my husband was here, I wish this person was here, I wish my friend was here. If that is the first thought that comes to you for that specific area that you are seeing, or that message that you are listening to at that time, and you wish somebody else was hearing it because you are observing that behavior in that person, it also reflects back on us. And when we shift the responsibility, then we are not going to work on anything ourselves. So what will help us to find a way to respond differently and to take ownership and to take responsibility for the changes that we need to make in our lives? The very first thing is admitting that there is an area that needs a change. It is also having to assess the impact that a specific behavior has on you as a person, what impact it has on other people, what impact it has on your goals, what your vision as a person. When you get to realize the depth of the impact, it will help to take ownership. This is like starting a relationship with God. In order for one to start a relationship with God, one needs to admit that they need God in their lives. They need to admit that God is their creator. God is their Father who is in heaven. God is the Father who sent Jesus Christ, that Jesus Christ died for their sins. He was buried, he resurrected, and he ascended on high to heaven, and he is seated right now on the throne on the right hand side with God. If one does not admit that they need God in their lives, then they are not going to have a relationship with God. Might I remind you that only those who believe in their hearts that Jesus Christ is Lord have the right to become children of God. So one of the ways of taking ownership is going back to your Creator and being vulnerable with God, admitting that you do need Him, do need a change in your life, and especially asking Him for His help. Yes, there are various other help avenues that we can explore. I am presenting this one as one of them today. Remember that if you don't own up, you are not going to take a step to start working toward the better version of you. Until next time, thank you very much for tuning in.